Good evening, everyone. It is May 25th, 2023. Excuse all the crazy lines on the screens, but let's get started with the ES. Now, tomorrow is end of month. We do have a long weekend. Monday is a holiday, and for the most part, it looks like we are just trapped, stuck inside. If we just get rid of all the lines, we are still stuck inside this balance right here, that kind of what is that, second week of May, third week of May balance is kind of 41.15 to 75-ish area. We tried to run it in the evening there, running that overnight high from Tuesday, but we're unable to really push, and this is all while the Nasdaq was just ripping. Intraday, how am I looking to trade this guy? Well, being that it's end of month, being that the Nasdaq remains trading pretty much at yearly highs, it's hard to really lean on the short side. And instead, what I would like to see is a clean up to this kind of 41.94 area where we had that Tuesday sell-off. I like that we held balanced lows. Now what I want to see is, can we get above this kind of 75, 65, 75 area? Can we start using 65 as support instead of resistance like it's been repeatedly? And can we get up to that 94 area? So that's what I'm looking at. Intraday, excuse all the crazy lines again. Let's get rid of them. Here we go. What did we have today? Well, we opened on a gap, a double gap, actually. Throw this onto a 5-minute. Opened on a double gap and had immediate liquidation at the open, sold down, came into that that monthly point of control right around it once again. 39s were the number that we were holding bid. Eventually got a tag of that monthly point of control and just started ramping upwards. Got slammed before we could reach the open, but once again bid, and it was interesting that the internals, the breadth, was actually declining pretty heavily during this entire ramp, and it just really felt like it was the Nvidia squeeze. It was up 30%, and the market just wanted to go up. Eventually, we did run those overnight highs, get that huge stop run, and then came back below and a little selling into the close. We did close with some pretty heavy deltas, negative 70,000 on TradingView, and it's important to note that now settlement lows are really far above us. Those Wednesday lows are way at 41.15. We're trading at 41.53, so longs are not underwater at this point. It looks like most of them should be in the clear, and we are above that monthly point of control volume. We held that really well repeatedly today, all day, and then closed a little bit higher. So what I'm looking at is us just being stuck in that 41.15 to 41.75 balance, and I want to see us start getting up to this 94 area, and hopefully we get a little sell along the way, 88 to 94s. Other than that, I don't really want to be shorting this thing. I'll be avoiding it anywhere higher. On the long side, I'm not interested in playing a liquidation day, but I will be looking for a bid at 53.25, that being the VWAP close from today, 39.5 after we run a previous day's low. Today's RTH low of the day, just reclaiming this level, and then below nothing has really changed. That daily close, VWAP close, and point of control at 25s. 21s were an interesting number, and then I would like to take 17s long if we do get a run of that daily low. That is the ES. Now on the NAS crack, let's open this up. More crazy lines. Also, we do have 8:30 PCE pre-market, and then the revised University of Michigan consumer sentiment at 10 a.m. We have this little trend line developing, just higher external trading hour highs. Eventually, we finally made a new high in the RTH. That's what I wanted to see. What I was looking for was, okay, opening on a huge gap up. This was a 250-point gap up, which was sustained, by the way. We repeatedly held this Tuesday, where we had this RTH Tuesday churn and then breakdown. That's what we repeatedly held. That also being that kind of Thursday afternoon where we had the selling start and then that breakout into the close. We repeatedly held that. We had a distributive point of control at the highs, and that is where we're trading. Right now, the Globex overnight high has been at that distributive point of control, so that is important to note. However, we are holding last week's high of the week, so what I would ideally like to see is, yeah, sure, it's fine to be under that distributive point of control. Ideally, we ramp above it, but whatever. It's fine as the way it is. I don't really want to see us start getting below last week's RTH high, that kind of 930, 929 number. I think that's what it is. Settlement lows are comically at 400 points below us, so that's not an issue. We're also above settlement highs. We also have that huge gap supporting us. So tomorrow, what we really need to see is, can Nvidia sustain the bid, or is it going to drop down? And I'm leaning towards the latter, to be quite honest. It's great that we had I'm just looking at my notes here. It's great that we closed near the point of control today. It's great that we closed above these prior external trading hour highs of years. It's great we closed on green deltas, all that stuff. That's awesome stuff. And that we held the point of control, that we held the prior week's high after running the open. Once we Ooh, a lot of stuff here. What I was looking for was, as we were ramping up on these shitty internals, on that declining breadth, what I wanted to see was a pop of the open, a pop of these highs, and then a slam down underneath last week's high, but we didn't get that. It held last week's high. It moved up higher. We are nearing that 14,070 target I had for the week. And we are repeatedly holding last week's high. So until we start flushing that, I'm not really too concerned about taking longs here. I also like that weekly VWAP has climbed up to this 826 level that held really nice, whatever it was, last night. That was also our IB low on Tuesday, and it also held bids on that Monday, Sunday, and Friday sessions. So that is what I'm interested in. Below there, sure, I'd be willing to take a long at 711 and quarter after we close that gap there, or any of these longs really. I'm not interested in the short side on this guy either, so hope that makes sense on the Nasdaq. Our final ticker here, if I can find it, where are you? Here we go, Mr. Dow. The Dow, really actually quite an interesting story here. Let's zoom out to the big time frame. Like I'd said, this thing's breaking down. I wanted to see us start getting into the that 850-ish, or sorry, what number was it? 550-ish number, kind of the base of the breakout. But if you drew a volume profile here of this accumulation, you actually get a number that's right around 660-ish. So that is where we've held. We've held that point of control, that breakout bid, if you want to call it that. And notably, intraday, I want to just, there you go, you can see that breakout bid number, that level I had, 662. Intraday, we had quite a few notable changes relative to the past, relative to the rest of the week. Today was the first time we did not gap down. Yes, we did liquidate right at the open, and we did hold below previous day's low for pretty much the entire day, with some little ramps above it here and there. However, this was the first day that we managed to actually tag a prior day's VWAP close. That happened during the stop run of the overnight high and this overnight high here. It happened during then, but that was the first time we've actually managed to tag a previous day's VWAP close all week. So it looks to me that we're actually starting to get a little bit of momentum on the Dow. We closed as well at the previous day's low. There was no gap down. We have not tagged a previous day's high since, I think Friday maybe? Monday or Friday? And it was our first time hitting a previous day's VWAP close. And we hit that breakout bid number. I was hoping for 550, but 660 is fine. That's okay. First week trading this thing. As of now, Globex is trading under that settlement lows. So under Wednesday's low of the day and the close. However, if we don't gap down, if we actually open above this Wednesday low day, and if we open especially above, if we open above today's low of the day, this Thursday low of day, that'll be the first time, and we don't liquidate off the open, hopefully, that'll be the first time that we're actually properly holding inside of the previous day's range. It's not some liquidation like it was this morning. Is this candle here. That liquidation move. So I want to see, do we open above today's low of the day, this Thursday RTH low? And especially, do we open above settlement lows? That'll be what I'm watching for. And if we start to get above this high here, this Thursday RTH high day, I'm not going to be interested in playing the short side, so really all I'm interested in is this. That'll signify a notable change in momentum, and perhaps I'll be looking for a long at 811 if we do that. But until then, I'm short biased around this 811 and 859 number, and I will be taking 662 long, 545, all those numbers. But I think there is a little bit of a notable change in momentum, and I think we can have some nice two-way trade until this day's high breaks. So that's how I'm looking at the Dow. That's all I have for you guys. 10 minutes. Oh, shorter than the past few days. Hope that helps. Hope that makes sense. I'm sure there'll be a bunch of changes to this pre-market. What I want to see is, do we see some evidence of strength on the Dow during the pre-market? Can we get, the overnight and the pre-market? Can we get above that 811 number? And can we open inside the day's range? If not, got a little gap up going. On the Nasdaq, do we stay below that distributive point of control at 990 and a quarter? And on the ES, oh, there we go. On the ES, do we open below the day's lows? If we do, we might be looking at a little bit of a liquidation down to 25s and catching a bid. So that's what I'm watching for during the overnight, and let's see what we get. Have a great night and trade safe, you guys.